Get some water. What's the word, guys? Hopefully, you guys having a good Martin Luther King's Day. Hopefully, you guys been having a good weekend. Hopefully, you guys have a good day to work today if you did have to work. I'm gonna give some people some more time to get in here before we get started with the live stream. I know everybody's watching the national championship. It's a good game right now. We'll see if Miami comes back to tie it, possibly win it. So I'm gonna get some more people some more time to get in here. If you're watching the replay, double tap the screen, hit the like button, comment your thoughts as we go along. All right, so we're gonna get started in just a minute. Could be lined up for a quick one, depending on the engagement. Let's see, but where do I begin? Let's see. We're getting to a point in society, guys, where, excuse me, if you don't understand women, if you hadn't gotten women yet, if you don't understand female nature, if you're still raging about women and hating what they do to you and not understanding them and not accepting that they'll never love you and that they need resources and they'll cheat on you. Like, if you can't understand this basic stuff about women, it's going to get to the point where the next 2 to 3 years where it's going to be too late for you. It's going to be too late for you because it's getting to the point to where, you know, our society's in an unstable place right now. It's more valuable. It's time more than ever to lock in, be focused, change your careers, make your money, save your money, invest your money. Because again, women aren't going to change, guys. We're getting to the point we already understand about women. What do I do if I can't get over her? James in the bill, bro. James, are you serious, bro? James, what's going on, man? Bruh, when did you get on YouTube, man? What's going on, man? I'll make you moderator on the channel, man. It's been a while. He said, what do I do if I can't get over her? Well, it just takes time, man. That's the honest truth. He said, miss you, bro. Yeah, I miss you too, man. Hope everything's doing all right. Yeah. Yeah, I heard what happened, man. I know it happens, man. It happens. But no, it just takes time, bro. You know, we've all went through heartbreaks, and I'm not gonna one of those guys that recommend guys to like, you know, the general advice is to be, well, you know, to get over one woman is to get under another woman. It's like, nah, you know, that works for some men, but some men, they were legitimately in love with this woman. They saw a future with her, and then she pulled the rug from underneath you, and now you got to recover. And you just gotta take your time. It could take a year, it could take 6 months, it could take a while. But in the meantime, focus on you. It's all you can do. And you know, learn from what happened and move on from it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, heartbreak is inevitable in life. We can't stop it. It's not the first time, it's not the last time we're gonna be heartbroken. You know, some people are gonna pass away in our family that we really love. Um, that's gonna be heartbreaking. Relationships are gonna be heartbreaking. So, in a way, we kind of have to get used to it. You know, it's part of life, the human experience. So, once you kind of expect to have it, it kind of changes your mindset a little bit and helps you improve in that sense. So, where you're never shocked by anything, because I think that's what really sets men over the edge. Like, you're shocked. You thought she would never do that. But if you would have had that little 10% of, you know, skepticism, you'd have been like, wow. You just would have took it on the chin and moved on. But it just takes time, man. Getting over a woman takes time. Yeah, don't beat yourself up. You guys don't beat yourself up. You know, we're really in some terrible times. These women today, they're not they're this feminism is too strong. Um, there's volumes of women that think in this feminist way, and this feminist way is to go opposite of your leadership, go opposite of what a man wants. So you're gonna have a difficult time in general, but you can still find a good woman. They're just in little small pockets of America. Is there any good, unique hobbies to pick up on in the meantime? Um, it depends on what you like. Every man's different. Some guys like golfing, some guys like bowling, some guys like shooting pool, some guys like playing video games, some guys like working out. Um, it just depends on, you know, what you like to do. Yeah, that's all. It just depends on what you like to do, bro. So, you know, whatever brings you joy, you know, do it. Some dudes like to go hunting, you know. So, I don't know, a little crusty. I just jumped out of the shower. You know how you jump out the shower and then you get to sweating because you took a hot shower. I hate that so much. You get to sweating. He said I like to troll and I like to block. But yeah, guys, back to the core, the live stream. We're getting one of the biggest reasons why it's going to be hard for men to find relationships and find marriages and attract women. Period. You know, it's not just the feminism. You know, all that stuff is true, but the economic part of it is really going to hurt you as well. And you know, this AI stuff is real, guys. It truly is. There's robots already cooking food for fast food companies. They already have self-driving vehicles, testing them out all across America. They have self-driving CDL Class A stuff. So it's like, damn. So if you're a driver that does no touch freight, you're going to lose your job potentially. Um, he said, to be honest, I lied to her and messed up the relationship. Where do you look to fix yourself in the ways that make you feel like you need to do something like that? It's just a look in the mirror, bro. Why did you lie? Why did you feel you have to lie? These are questions you have to ask yourself. And to all you guys watching right now, don't beat yourself up. We make mistakes. We're not perfect. We're still developing as men. We don't have it figured out at 26, 27, 28. Hell, 21. Some of you guys are 21. Hell, some of you guys are 32 that are watching me. So don't beat yourself over it. The truth is sometimes, James, that women can't take the truth. So when you tell them the truth, they'll leave. But if you whisper sweet nothings in their ears, like a toxic guy would, that seems to work. So women have a hard time accepting the truth anyway. So I could see why you would lie, or why men lie in general to women. And you can't, women can't take too much offense to that, because women, they lie about their eyelashes. Their eyelashes are fake. Sometimes their chest, their breast implants are fake. They're wearing high heels. They're not that tall. Their makeup don't look as perfect as it presents itself. So women can't be mad that when men lie. Now, James, you're a good man. You're trying to do the right thing, have integrity, and that's a good thing. You have to look in the mirror and say, why did you have to lie? Why did you feel like you have to lie to her? What was the why? What did she do? Did she lie to you? Maybe, these are questions you have to ask. Dive into the details of why. Is it something about yourself that makes you insecure? Something about her that made you insecure of what she was doing? It's a whole, that's a very generalized question with lots of different things and lots of different details to pick up on. But I'm gonna be real, James. I think like the way she was moving, I don't think she was moving the exact way you want a woman to move. Not saying that that you didn't have something to do with the breakup, but she definitely had her flaws as well too. So I wouldn't beat yourself up about it. You find your mistakes, you look back, you replay the tape of where you went wrong, and you try to better yourself the next time. Because the next time you meet a good woman, you want to hold on to her, you want to marry her, you want to keep her off the market. You know, so he said, yeah, Ruggins is rugged. He said, yeah. Well, I told you guys I'll be back online. What's called introvert? I told you guys I'll be back on like around 9. Now I know everybody's watching the NCAA football, and shout out to them. Shout out to them. Looks like Miami's going to lose. Last time I looked at it. But the financial part of it, because as a man, your physique is a part of your attractiveness, and your ability to make money is a part of your attractiveness. So if you don't pivot correctly and get into the right careers in these next 2 to 3 years, in which AI is going to take a lot of, uh, excuse me, paper pushing jobs. Hell, some blue collar jobs, not like construction worker type jobs, or not like trucking where you got to unload the freight or unload the food kind of jobs, but yet. But the financial part of it is going to get harder. And it's going to be harder for you to attract a woman, period. In addition to the feminism, in addition to all these other things, trying to buy a house. So it's more important, probably now more than ever, in 2026, now more than ever, to lock in. I'm not just saying this because, this is what a lot of people are saying. This is legitimately a life-changing thing. We're running out of time. AI is a legit threat, not to um, it's a legit threat to your income. Let me clarify. You said a man's life won't change until he stops chasing a woman. Interesting. Yeah, it won't because we as young men and the older men have already figured this out. We waste our young years, our most energetic years where we can work 12 hours and get into great shape and set the health foundation instead of the wealth foundation. Instead of doing those two things and putting women in the 10% of what we should be worried about, um, we put 50, 60% of what of our time into women and negate our wealth and our health. So now you're 35 trying to get the money right. You're 40 trying to get back in shape and trying to lose weight. Your young 20s or your years where you're supposed to struggle. Figure it out. Talk to women. Don't, because I don't believe in that either. Where there's certain guys where you're like, don't even talk to women before you make six figures. I don't believe in that either. That's an extreme part. You need to learn how to talk to women and deal with women, because if you don't know how to do that, and once you get the money, you're just going to get finessed out of your money because you don't know how women interact and you're not used to the games that they play. You say, what made you want to get into doing YouTube? Bro, really it's really simple. Really what made me do YouTube is like, I just needed to vent my thoughts out of my head. Really, that's really what it was. My thoughts on society, my thoughts on women, my thoughts on people. Uh, that's really what I needed. I needed an outlet to vent, is where it all stems from. Man, it's like, is there a way to stop this threat to our income? No. The government, the rich people, they're not going to stop. They're investing millions, not even millions, billions of dollars in the AI. So it's an arms race for these companies. Uh, if these companies, if they don't adapt, they're going to go extinct. And some of them are going to go extinct regardless, because AI can do your job better than a human can, which is crazy work. We're replacing humans with humans. Or AI is smarter than humans. That's crazy. The average person. So if you're an average person with average IQ and average work ethic, you're going to be gone. You're going to be done. And besides, money doesn't inherently guarantee female attraction anyway. It helps. It doesn't help keep a woman. It's not the only thing that keeps a woman, but it can definitely help. Do you have a favorite video that you made? That's a good question, bro. I made over 2,000 videos. I really like my car videos back like 2, 3 years ago. I was in College Station, just shooting videos in my car. Hmm. I would go into one of those videos. I think, and plus this goes into what you're dealing with right now. It's one of those videos. It's one of those men videos where I'm talking about the plight of men, the heartbreak, the things that we have to deal with. I think I created a playlist on my channel with that. I gotta add some more videos to that. But I would start right there. It's like the things that men deal with. Um, I had some really good videos about that. They were really in depth, really heartfelt, really emotional. So I would say those are some of my best videos. Talk about the things that we go through as men, how hard of a life it can get. We have to learn how to talk to women. Period. Yeah. If there's no income, we won't be able to buy or own our own shit. Yeah, exactly. We get money not just for women, but it definitely helps with women. You got to live. Everything revolves around money. Everything costs. I thought AI is programmed by human beings and not smarter than us. Well, AI, see, you're right that it's programmed by human beings, certain software, but AI has access to all the information. So it's like Google. It's like a better version of Google. You know how you type in Google and you can just find the answer right away? AI can do that by itself. It can find the answer through all the information it has access to by itself. Chat GBT, I don't know if you guys have been using Chat GBT. Now, Google Gemini is horrible. Even though I use it for my thumbnails sometimes, it's not there yet. It can't rethink. Chat GBT can rethink. Chat GBT can take information that you give it and apply it and do multiplication, whatever you need to do with it. Analyze it. Be more analytical. That's why the accountings, the accountants, anything with numbers, AI can already it's gonna be better than it's gonna be better to do that. Now, granted, it's not gonna do every job. You know, some jobs are critical thinking and evolve emotion and the human touch, but numbers and all that, it's gonna take all them jobs. The desk typing jobs, them call center jobs, it's gonna take all that. He said, "This is beyond disgraceful." What you mean? Yeah, we put way too much effort into attracting women, and you really can't even really fault us because our nature as young men, this is when we have the most testosterone, meaning that it's when we're trying to have intercourse with the most women. Nature is pushing us to procreate in this young age. So it's weird, guys. Like nature really plays a cruel game on us men because in your young years, that's when you want to have the most intercourse, but that's when you're the least mature, you're the least developed mentally, financially. Um, you're under, you're not, you haven't. It takes a while to build these things, but this is the time you're the most erect. Pause. And then by the time you get 30, 40 and get all the money and all this stuff, um, your libido has slowed down. Things make sense now. And you don't want women near as much as you wanted them when you were 20. You can't go 3, 4, 5 rounds then. At 50 years old, even if you are in good shape. And then women, when they're young, that's when they have the most value, which is why they go with older guys that are more established. So, as a young man, you're meant to struggle through. It's a harsh reality that we have to accept, but you're meant to struggle through. Uh, it's a weird saying, but they say the woman, the generation of women that you're supposed to date and marry are being created right now. Excuse me. They're in the womb right now. They're little kids right now. I know it sounds weird. I know it sounds weird, but a lot of you guys, the women that are your age, 25, 26, 23, they don't date women or they don't date men their age. They're dating men in their 30s, 35, the generation before. So if she's Gen Z, she's dating millennials or Gen X. She'll come back around and date the other Gen Xers, the other Gen Zers whenever she's 35, 40 and single. Yeah, she'll come back around then, but by then, you wouldn't want her, you'll want to go younger. This is the lopsided pendulum of nature and the relationships between men and women. Because the thing about us guys, we're going to figure it out. Most of us are going to figure it out. It's going to hit you. You're going to figure it out. It's just hopefully between the ages of 18 and 30, you don't make a critical mistake as far as divorce or, kid out of wedlock, child support. Some of these things are inevitable because we're dealing with the the feminist women. That's beyond disgraceful. AI is a threat to our income. Yep. And guys, it's gonna be harsh. This next, I was reading something today that said that the 2027 housing crisis could be worse than '08. He said you met Speed. Nah, bro. I don't even like Speed. He weird as hell. Oh, he's talking about Speed, the drug. He crazy, bro. I'm thinking he's talking about I show Speed. You talking about the drug? As you guys come in and double tap the screen, hit the like button. Nah, he weird as hell. I show Speed is weird as hell. I don't know why. I don't know why Google's retracting your messages. I don't know what's going on. He weird as hell. I see that photo where he jumped. He's like in Africa or something, and he like jumped on this dude and like put his legs around him and all this stuff. I'm like, bro, you GAY. What the hell? Ridiculous stuff. But again, we talk about these women, and these men are just as effeminate. They're just as bad. I don't know, bro. I have no idea, bro. Google must not like you, homie. I don't know what's going on. Oh, you timed him out, James? But yeah, bro. So yeah, you guys are more than welcome to comment your thoughts on the topic. Let me know what you guys are thinking about going through. Maybe I can help you or give some advice. But yeah, we're in some harsh times, guys. We're in some really harsh times, some really critical times. This is the next. We're living in the next. This AI is the next wealth creation. This is the next wealth. I don't even know how to say it, or the next part. So I was behind in the live, but he must have said something crazy. He kept getting taken down, so he's timed out for 5 minutes. Yeah, he was. Who cared? Yeah, he probably one of these weird randos anyway, so you straight. But yeah, we're in that moment now, guys. Where like this AI stuff, if you invest into it and switch into these tech careers and figure out tech, this will be your jumping part. This will be your jump start to wealth. This is our roaring 20s if you get into it soon enough. We didn't get into crypto soon enough. Crypto's already gone. You were just gonna do a purchase of 60,000, $70,000 Bitcoin? Probably not. So if you get on this stuff early, this will shoot you into the stratosphere. What about turbulent 60s? Turbulent 60s. What is the best, most solid piece of advice you have overall that you found directly from something that happened to you, like a breakup teaching you something specific or anything like that. Really, whenever I think back on my breakups, it really just made me have a mind shift. Um, some of what I'm about to say might sound harsh. It might sound a little too, difficult to digest, but this is just the real part. Women are fickle. They're unreliable. So you can't entirely trust them to do the right thing. They'll renege, they'll love you today. So you always have to plan around and have a contingency plan around her leaving you. It's a messed up state, but women are weird. It's like when you could care less, they love you the most. And it's just women's nature. I don't understand why they're like that, but that's just what they are. So the things that I've learned from women and just overall advice is to um, accept them for who they are. They're hypergamous. They want the better option. And granted, that don't mean every woman's gonna jump and level up because a lot of them don't. A lot of them downgrade, but in her mind, she leveled up in a different way. And maybe not financial, but in looks. Uh, maybe not in looks, but in financial, maybe in status. So you have to always my the things I've learned from women are about mindset that you have to adopt, that she can change her feelings about you at any moment, and that can cause a lot of problems in your life. Uh, the way a woman destroys a man is emotionally. She can't do it to you physically. She can't do it to it in any other way. She does it emotionally. A death by a thousand cuts. She nags at you. She baits and switches you. You know, she changes her mind in the middle of the relationship, and you can't believe why. You're like, why would you do that? Women, that's just how women are. They're flip floppy. So once you understand that, you kind of like not. It's not that you don't love them or respect them. You kind of like take them with a grain of salt, knowing that hey, I'm not guaranteed that this stuff will work. Even if I'm in a marriage, even if I'm in a long-term relationship, at any moment she can switch her feelings around about how she feels. And it can be entirely not my fault. I can do everything right. I can do everything she wants. I can be a nice guy. I can provide. I can blow her back out. I can do all these different things, and then she'll still end up leaving. So this is the things that you have to accept about women, and it's a mindset shift that you have to adopt. That I would say you have to adopt when dealing with them. You said, "Oh no, there were some cases of women destroying men physically." Well, usually when that happens, now granted, there are some psychopath women that will, you know, get a utensil and do that to you, and get a firearm. But typically, when a woman gets in trouble, she calls another man. So she's gonna get a hit man or something to come take you out, not necessarily herself. You know, but that is true, introvert. You did bring up a good point. Look at the real life stories of women deleting their boyfriends or husbands. That's a real thing too. When she realizes that she can get a whole bunch of insurance money because you put, your insurance package is a $500,000. Hell, that's why some of the kids be destroying their parents and deleting their parents because they know it's a lot of inheritance money they can get. Human nature is very hard to deal with sometimes. It truly is. Um, so, but with women, back to what James was saying, another thing that I would say is, having abundance, having resources, having money, being in shape, these give you options so where it can negate a woman's BS. So if she is acting up and wants to leave out of nowhere, who cares? Because you can replace her by just an attractive woman, by another woman that's just as attractive. So um, These are important mindset shifts that I would, excuse me, adopt and try to execute on daily. We live. Yep, we live. I'm assuming Indiana won. They beat Miami. I don't even have my iPad next to me. Introvert, it's a trip how women hire a hitman or another man in general to do their dirty work. When women can easily get access to firearms themselves. Well, women, they're not violent most times. A good feminine woman, they're not violent. So, most women in general, they're not into gory movies or, you know, war movies. They're not into that kind of stuff. So they're not going to execute on it. You see where I'm going with this? Yeah. Most women naturally, nature or by nature and naturally, this is why they don't go to war and all that stuff because they don't have the capacity to take that level of violence. Their weapon is their mouths, lies, yeah. And their weapon is they leverage what's between their legs to get you to act right. You know? It's a cold world. Yeah, introvert, but that's like 10% of women. I promise you. Yeah, and that's the thing. Women they gonna call up they crazy ex boyfriend that still like them and still want to smash them. They gonna call up these simps, these white knights that will do anything for them that they can call and sick on you. So yeah, it's crazy, bro. And plus, you got to think if you're the woman, why would you want to do the dirty work when you can get somebody else to do the dirty work and blame them? Because when the stuff comes to court, she gonna play the victim. Well, I didn't really mean for them to, you know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. A jealous woman will lie to another to poison her against the guy for revenge on the guy, ruin it for them. Jealous. Yeah, exactly. This is why women they don't their friendships are just as fickle and non-existent as sometimes us men. At least with men, when you have a friendship, you have to display traits. You have to display loyalty. You have to display these different things in order for it to be a relationship or for it to even be a friendship. Women will hate each other and still hang out with each other. They'll come home to you and say they what their girlfriend did and how she did this and it embarrassed her and all this stuff, and then still go out with them because the social part matters more than the problem with that personal woman. If a man did some ish like that, he'd have no backbone. I mean, they still do it. They still do it. You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent got a hit put on him. So, that's how kings and presidents move. Why would you do the dirty work yourself when you can hire your military to go do it? You know what I'm saying? It's actually a smart move. Um, I had a jealous side piece ruin things with my ex. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's not shocking. She's trying to foil your life and foil your happiness intentionally. In her mind, she's like, if I can't have you, can't nobody have you. These are the games that women play on you and with each other. I had a jealous side piece ruin things with my ex, told lies, and my ex believed. Of course, because women believe each other, which is why when women come on our stream and we have these stories and talk about these anecdotal stories that we have, they always hit it with the same sentence. Where are you meeting these women? It's like, do you guys are that brain dead to your own nature and your own female counterparts? Like, as men, we know, dude, we know not to go on the wrong side of town because we know what could happen. We know not to talk to a certain man because we know what can happen. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, women will go to extreme lengths. And it's really a sad thing, guys. There are some women out there that just genuinely do not like to see men happy. I know you don't want to believe it, but you ever like dealt with a woman and every time you had a good time, every time you told her you had a good time with the boys, or you had a good trip, or your day at work was really good, she kind of like looked at you with a side eye. I had another side chick get jealous and accuse me of leading her on. she she coming up with justifications, bro. Justifications. And women are not realistic at all. Like, women have to come to terms like, hey, you don't look like Ivanka Trump. You don't look like Beyonce or Rihanna. You know what I'm saying? Some of you guys, some of you ladies, you don't look that good to lock down a man in a monogamous relationship. Especially if these women that are shooting for these Brad Pitts and these tall guys and these fit guys and these guys with money. Why would he settle down with a plain Jane when he can get 5 plain Janes? You know? So that's the harsh reality that women can't accept. And that's because of the feminist ego has made the women's ego way too big. They can't even accept uh, polygamy or polygyny, even though they're living through it. They're getting cheated on reckless left and right. Every woman has been cheated on, but they don't want to do polygyny. It's like, do you like being lied to? It's crazy. Why wouldn't you accept a guy that has money and access, money and status and all this stuff? Why wouldn't you accept being a concubine or being one of his wives and just moving on instead of just all this backstabbing, lying, cheating? So, and she tried to ruin things for me and my GF too. They ended up being friends, even though both of them did me dirty. Women, that's the thing you have to realize too, guys. Women stick together. Men don't stick together. If we disagree on something, we not gonna, dudes is not gonna stick together, especially if you're a stranger. And that's the thing. Misery loves company, so they'll be single together. They'll complain about these men together. It's the same old thing. These women monkey branch, cheat, yet get jealous when their side dude gets a girlfriend. Nicholas is on point tonight, boy. It's crazy, ain't it? James said, I've noticed women don't have much honor. They don't. And that's another one of those harsh truths that you have to accept about women, which is why it's so easy for them to renege and bait and switch and to switch up on you. And, you know, because there's no loyalty there. There's no saying of saying a woman of their words. It's only men of their word. So women's words mean very little. You'd be surprised at how often women lie. They will go to petty lengths to try to prove a superiority over you. Exactly. It's the feminism. They want to dominate you. You're not crazy. They're doing it on purpose to demean you, to kill your, and they're trying to emasculate you because she's been raised that men are just, or women are just as equal as men. No, we're not. and that's okay. We're supposed to be the yin and the yang. Her strengths are my weaknesses, and my strengths are her weaknesses. We're supposed to be worked together, but again, all of these things are making causing friction between the sexes, which is causing us not to reproduce and causing our society to not reproduce at appropriate rates. Superiority just to try to control you and kick you while you're down. Yep, they play the leverage game. Yeah, and I can't. That's one of my biggest problems with monogamy is women. They automatically, whenever you piss them off and you make them mad, you already know you're not getting laid. And I'm like, a woman can make me mad, and I'll be over it within 2 hours. It just kind of is what it is. Men, we're not like that. We don't hold grudges. We're not vindictive. We're not vengeful all the time. There's some things that are like, it is what it is. Let that shit go. Women can't let it go. That's why arguing is a pointless, because she'll make sure you never win the argument, because she's not in it to make sense. She's in it to cause irritation and to get under your skin. Men do stick together sometimes, only if they're close friends and not strangers. Homie, I didn't see some dudes fall out. I remember I was younger. There were some dudes that they girl was cheating on them, and they close friend told them, and the friend got mad at the friend, saying that he was trying to break up their relationship, and they fell out. So they act just like children. Exactly, they are children. They stop developing emotionally whenever they develop, their chest and their bosom, their curves. Or not their bosom. I think the bosom is the chest, if I'm not mistaken. Their behinds, their curves. You're trying to be decent on YouTube. Women who act like children are turn-offs. Well, most of them act like children. Unfortunately, there's levels to it. Not every woman is. It's not completely hopeless out here. It's just a lower percentage than you would like, because grown men will think twice about acting like immature children instead of acting like grown adults. Excuse me. Yeah, because as men, we face consequences when we make mistakes. Women don't feel consequences, which stunts their growth emotionally. There's always a guy willing to save them. There's always a guy that's willing to overlook their behavior because she has big tits and curves. And so that stunts her. It stunts her growth mentally and emotionally, which is why she always acts like a children, because she doesn't. There's no accountability, and men don't require oftentimes accountability. Hell, and sometimes her father didn't hold her accountable. You ever been around those guys? You ever been around their parents, a woman's parents, and realize, oh, her dad is, he caters to her all the time, which is why she's overly entitled and wants her way all the time. Makes sense. There is some ish you just can't let go, especially when it comes to women abusing men. Just like certain sex crimes shouldn't be brushed off or ignored. There are consequences for men coming to save those same broads too. You said, let alone ignoring red flags as well. Yep. And this is the other thing that I'm dealing with personally. Um, you guys know I'm still in the field doing this stuff. I've slowed down. This is probably not going to be a year where I gain numbers, because I'm focused on changing careers, and saving some money. The economy is truly bad. Uh, but the thing about red flags is that I'm beginning to notice, and this just goes to know or goes to show you just how down bad we are as a society. Um, I come across women a lot with frequent red flags. And women don't even realize, like, why are you wearing heels? Heels are something that, a working girl on the street wears to make her butt look better. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of women, normal women, unfortunately, they dress just like the escorts and the working girls on the street corner are dressed. Tight forming dresses. The street girl is doing that because she's trying to attract a trick to make money. These women are doing it just because they think that's the right thing to do. We're in a crazy time in society. So red flags are common. And I promise you, if you ignore them red flags enough, a woman's gonna make you pay. And so, we talk about these things on the internet, like I've said before, there's such a frequent abundance of these women that if you deal with them long enough, you're bound to get caught up in some kind of critical mistake. Men who cater to these bras that lack accountability will get them side-eyed by people too. I don't think so, introvert. I think that's the common thing to do. Unfortunately, wearing glasses heels, and it is crazy. Have you gotten any stories of a jealous ex reputation destruction attempts? Let me go back. Let me think for a second. Not really. I've kind of dealt with that from women that wanted a relationship from me and they couldn't get it, so they try to like bash my reputation. So I wasn't attracted to other women, but not in a relationship. I think one of my exes maybe said something to her family that kind of made me, not appear in a good light to her family, but like not like intentionally trying to like get another woman to not talk to you or mess up your thing. They can be so conniving and ice cold. Yeah, and oftentimes, Nicholas, it's unnecessary. Women do vindictive things that are unnecessary and uncalled for. It's like, why the hell did you even need to do that? It's ridiculous. So it's valuable that you learn these lessons now, guys, because when you truly level up, you're gonna already know what to do. You're gonna already know how they act. You're gonna already know how to move. So yeah, guys, we're gonna wind the stream down. You guys send your last little bit of questions and comments as we wind down the stream. They think men are the devil. They got straight to portraying themselves as innocent angel. Wrong. Exactly. They play the victim. That's their automatic default setting, is to play the victim and point the finger at you, come up with a justification to point the finger at you. You said, have you ever been set up by a chick or before? Nah, I don't do that. I don't mess with them kind of chicks. Them be hood chicks. Them be chicks that are in poverty, that have like broken households and stuff. So he said, how long? That's a good question, James. He said, how long in a relationship before you think a woman shows her true colors? Well, depending on the level of manipulation and how good she is, she could hold it for a couple years, a year or two. But typically, a woman will show you who she truly is after a year, about 6 months to a year. But women can hide it for a duration of time. It's really astounding how women can fake for that long and deceive you for that long. It's really troubling. You know, you'll be really thinking you have a good woman, and then all of a sudden she'll flip on you out of nowhere, and you're like, "What the hell?" That's why the extended vet process. This is why men used to take 2 to 3 years to marry a chick. This is why she used to, the men used to wait until the woman would nag them about the relationship, nag them about the marriage before they would actually get into it, to weed out and see the woman's true colors and how she truly is. But eventually it's going to wear off, usually, typically within a year. She'll show you who she is. Sometimes 6 months. He said, "Hello from London. What is this channel about? We talk about society, human nature, women. Sometimes we might dive into some popular uh, culture, some things going on in popular culture when it comes to relationships. We all know when a woman is a scandalous, it's my fault for dealing with them. Absent or bad fathers raise women." I mean, but that's the thing, Nicholas. Like, these things are growing rapidly, so it's like, how do you avoid these things if there's such an abundance of them? And like I said, there's such a high abundance of these women that you're bound to get caught slipping by one of them eventually. The numbers just say so. Listen to every word, watch every move. You'll see from day one, in my opinion. Women do give signs. They do give some signs. Um, James, just like Nicholas stated, they do give some signs. But a really good woman that's good, it's a woman that really wants to hide and sees you as an asset. She will find a way to hide these things and pretend and act for a duration of time. I've been naive in thinking that I can treat them good and they won't wrong me. They don't have loyalty or morals like that. They don't. It's Jazz. He said, "Well, shout out to you, man. You found yourself a good one." Yeah, yeah, you're right. That's a good point. You never go into the situation thinking that the relationship's going to end, or thinking that she's going to do these things wrong to you. Yeah, that is true, introvert. If you continue, that is the thing. If you continue and ignore it, that is a thing. You said, "Nice. I'm 35. I'm from the UK. Been with my wife for 7 years." Shout out to you, man. Sounds like you found a good woman. The UK bruv. Got UK bruv in the building. He said, "I was single for my entire life, just messing around because I never wanted to just settle down for anyone until I met my wife, salsa dancing, moved in with each other after 3 months, and been good ever since." Hey, sometimes it is like that. It's rare, but sometimes, things just click. It is like that sometimes. There are some exceptions to the rule. Millennials are the last breed to get married, it seems like. Yeah, the Gen X, well, it depends. Well, the older Gen Zs like me, like us, we're older Gen Zs, which means we're basically millennials. So yeah, there's quite a bit of Gen Zs that want to get married. Now the Gen Zs is 21, 19, 20, 21, 22. Hell nah, they not looking for no kind of marriage whatsoever. Men or women. Hell, they don't even like each other half the time. The dudes is playing video games. She got an OF account and the Snapchat score like 5,000 and she 19 years old. Hell, she got a quarter of a million Snapchat score at 19 years old. 10,000 followers on Instagram. You said I'm actually unemployed now. She told me to quit my job to concentrate on starting my business, and she is currently working and covering all the bills. Shout out to her. Yeah, you found yourself a keeper, Jazz, but she sees it as an investment because she believes in the business, and if it works out, she can stop working. That's a smart woman. Shout out to you. You found yourself a diamond in the rough. That's crazy. That's rare, homie. Yeah, that's rare. Shout out to you, man. So you gonna have us Americans moving out to the UK to find a wife. Those born after 2002, maybe. Women ride the carousel like crazy, like flown out, blown out, and then marry a dim-witted nice guy with money in mid-20s. Yeah, that's what they do. Exactly. That's their playbook. Like, I've had my fun. I slept with 50 guys. Who cares now? I'm ready to settle down. And you're like, you can't just flip that switch like that. You said we're all trying to get like you. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you might have to go. Hey, find a good woman. You might have to go out of the country. That is a choice or an option. But she hates money. Doesn't have any social media because she thinks it's toxic. Shout out to her. That's a good woman, bro. Real talk. Won't allow me to buy birthday, Christmas, Valentine's, anniversary presents, no fancy restaurants, no designer ish. Yeah, she's a keeper dog. Yep, she's a keeper dog. Yep, keep her on the team. Yep, because that is a rare woman. That is a rare woman. You have like the 2%, the 5% woman. It's good and a bad thing because she is very out of touch on life. She doesn't know what's happening in the news, etc. Well, that's why that's what you're there for. You know what I'm saying? Whatever she lacks, you make up in it. You're her shield. But yeah, as we wind down, yeah, finding a woman that thinks social media is toxic, that won't like you to buy her birthday and Christmas, Valentine's gifts because she just likes being with you. That is an extremely rare woman, bro. You will be out here years looking for that and still won't find it. That is extremely rare. And if we're being real as a man, you have to know when to identify a woman that's like that, and you have to be a man of be a man of a high status man yourself to in order to attract these women as well. Excuse me. You said it took me 28 years to find her, bro. Shoot, some dudes take a whole lifetime. They be 40 and 50. These women are hard to find and very rare. I'm unable to find such a woman like that. So yeah, we're gonna wind down, guys. Yeah, shout out to Jazz. We're gonna make you a moderator as well. Go ahead and sub to the channel, Jazz. Got some UK bruv in the house. UK. Shout out to my people in the UK. We got people from all over the world watching. That's crazy. Well, it works both ways. She didn't have a good job, so I worked hard to get her into my industry, built up her career, and now she is doing well. He said, caught you live grinding, man. Shout out to my man Mike David. We just about to get off the stream, Mike David. We just about to get off the stream. Shout out to you. We got all the OGs in here. Yes, bro, I'm 35. He said, I'm a 91, baby. Yeah, Jazz and Nick was around the same age. Clinical systems implementation. Me and Introvert the same age. Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow night. Probably around 10. You guys look for me around 10. And then I won't be live again until Thursday. So I'll be live Tuesday night, Thursday night, and then the weekend. James, one of the youngest ones in here. James, yeah, 10 a.m. Like live tomorrow, yeah, 10 p.m. I'm 33 next month. Ah. Oh me, I'm about to approach 30. I still feel young as hell. I still feel young as hell. That's crazy, bro. Been out of them hours and locking in 26, been put them hours in locking in 2026, a make or break year. I 100% believe that, Mike David, with everything in me, homie. This is the make or break year financially. So this is the time to focus in and lock in now more than ever. He said, if I'm taking a break to start my own jewelry company, you can check it on Insta. I haven't made much money yet, but hopefully it will kick off soon. He said thieves.co.uk on Insta. Shout out to you, man. We got people doing business on the channel. We got business people, entrepreneurs on the channel. My fitness peaked at 27. What you mean? Why you say that, Nicholas? 2021, 28 rather, for sprints and long distance running. What do you mean, bro? You can't run past a mile now? Now, granted, even me at 28, I still got to stretch and stuff. I can't just go out there like at 18. See, at 18, 19 years old, you can just go out there and get the sprinting and no stretching and be good. As you get older, you got to warm up. Oh, yeah, me and you are in a different time zone. We also have a wedding videography company, which you guys should look into, especially wedding content creator, which is a new trend. I was really fit in 2021. I'm stronger now, weightlifting daily, but not running like I did at 28. Yeah, bruh. See, that cardio keep me lean. That cardio, that jump rope, running, sprints, running hills, running long distance. He calling us old. That's what he's saying. Introvert. He calling us James calling us old as hell. Literally, people show up with a phone and gimbal and film 3 times 60-second videos, and they pay you £1,000 for that. He said I was running like Forrest Gump. Shit. See, when it comes to my fitness goals, I just hate being tired. So I gotta go. I gotta run consistently. I hate being tired, bro. I hate it. I hate being winded. I hate that. I don't know why. That's just me. I hate being winded. I need to always feel like I can go another extra mile or something, have some endurance. Yeah, you guys double tap the screen as we get up out of here. We had a good live stream tonight. Shout out to everybody in the building. But people like it. It's instant videos they can post on social media until the main video is done, which takes a few months. That's true, yeah. I just hate editing. I can't stand it. I don't even have nephews nor nieces. Bro, I got nephews and nieces, bro. Me and my sister have a big age gap, at least not to my knowledge. So yeah, guys, we about to wind down, get off the live stream. I really appreciate you guys coming in here on this Monday night. You could have been watching some football. You probably did watch a little bit of football, but you came in here as well and supported. Shout out to Jazz as a new moderator on it. Shout out to my UK. Shout out to Introvert. If you guys aren't already subbed, hit the sub button to the channel. Hit the bell for all notifications. Shout out to my OG Introvert. If you guys are in the gaming content, check him out. Shout out to my OG Nicholas. Shout out to James. My friend James in real life for being in the building. Shout out to Mike David catching the live. Always good to see you in the building. Let's see, who else? We get everybody. We shout everybody out as we exit out of here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everybody. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate you guys. He said, oh, whoa. He said, oh, whoa, I'm blue. What does that mean? Oh, you're a moderator, bro. You can have the authority to regulate the chat and get rid of somebody if somebody gets to acting unruly. How old is she? Well, there's 13 years older than us. You got siblings, older sister, you don't have to answer that if you don't want to. You're 13, you can do the math. Take care, brothers. Look after yourself. All right, guys, we'll see you. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.